Hello and welcome to Ruminate. Today we are going to ruminate on Psalm chapter 56 and verse 3. And as we move into Ruminate, our prayer is that this video Bible study would really encourage you in your faith and challenge you to faithfully follow God no matter the cost. So let's ruminate today on Psalm chapter 56 and verse 3 by reading it first together a few different times. It's a short verse again, and so we'll read it through quite a number of times. Psalm 56 and verse 3 in the New International Version says, "When I am afraid, I put my trust in you." Again, when I am afraid, I put my trust in you. The psalmist is writing this as a prayer to God and just being honest about, hey, when I'm afraid, this is what I do. This is my claim. I put my trust in you. When I am afraid, I put my trust in you. When I am afraid, I will put my trust and my faith in you, God. It's such a simple sentence, and it almost looks like one of those kinds of responses that's almost like the canned phrase of like, oh, you're afraid? Well, trust in God. Everything will be okay. But I think it goes much deeper than that for the psalmist here. He believes deeply what he said. He admits that there are times that I am afraid. There are times that I'm anxious, that I don't understand. And in those moments, God, I will trust you. God, I will lay down my desire to be in control, my desire to know everything about this situation, and I will trust you. The phrase I'm afraid in the Hebrew can literally mean not just afraid, but to feel anxious or to feel apprehensive about something. And so the question becomes, what makes me apprehensive? What makes you apprehensive? What makes us afraid? Every single one of those things that makes us apprehensive or afraid or anxious, every one of those things is something that we can use to increase our trust in God. We can take that situation and when we're getting ready to step into that situation, or when that thought starts to creep in, immediately take it to God in prayer. We can immediately take it to him and say, God, I am feeling afraid. I trust you with this situation. Often we feel anxious about things that are beyond our control. And so when we begin to trust God with those things, we surrender our need to be in control and we rest in the reality that God is ultimately in control. He knows what's up and he's not taken off guard. Anxiety and worry and apprehension and stress are very present companions for most of us. Almost daily we are feeling one of these emotions. So as we begin to reflect on this passage, we ask these questions. What situations bring out the anxiety or the fear or worry or apprehension in you? What situations bring out the fear or apprehension in you? And a follow-up question to that is, what about this situation brings this emotion out so strongly? Why does it give the reaction that it does? And then the last reflection question, how can you start submitting your emotion to God and trusting him? How can you submit your fear or your worry or your apprehension or your anxiety or stress? How can you take that feeling and surrender it to the Lord, trusting him? Thank you for joining us today on Ruminate, and we'll see you next time.